trash, garbage, sexist, Reddit hates my street photography. Hey guys, I'm Dan and welcome to another video. Before we get into why Reddit has completely torn me a new one, can I please ask you to subscribe to the channel? If you do like the content, hit a like and tap the bell icon as well so YouTube notifies you when I next publish. I posted this street photograph up on Reddit in a street photography subreddit. You can see what it is, but to give you further context, and we'll get into why you need that shortly, it's people leaving a church, and it's with the caption, "Church is over, let's all go sin." Now, I posted it, and the reason I wrote the caption is just for a bit of fun, really. I thought it was a humorous idea, people leaving church after spending about an hour in there, and just rushing out and going and doing all the sinning that we all like to do because it's fun, and it was really just a tongue-in-cheek throwaway caption that I just wrote because I had to write something when posting it, and Reddit blew up. This has had over 200 comments and most of them are ripping into me. People have called the caption cringe, they've called it pretentious, they've said it sucks, they said it's disrespectful, and it's really caused quite the stir. As for the image itself, they said it doesn't offer any context, it's a poor edit. And I'll address those things first because there are some other comments which I just don't agree with and they're rather offensive. So I'm going to get into them shortly. Let's tackle the title and the image. So the title, I get it. I can see why some people misinterpreted it. You can't tell on the internet when someone's just being silly. And it's okay to be silly now and then. And I can understand maybe people who are religious may have taken offense to that. That wasn't my intention, but people get offended sometimes. We can't live our lives worried about always offending someone else. Otherwise, we may as well just sit in a protective bubble and not speak to one another. But I can see why people had a problem with it. Do I regret the title? Not at all. I had no bad intention. It's just a bit of silliness. I'll probably do something silly like that again in the future. Now, with the image, I actually agree. Some of them have said that I've cropped it too much and the editing is poor. And quite frankly, that's true. I rushed this image, I cropped it, and I've cropped out a lot of the church, most of it, really, which I shouldn't have done with the caption that I wrote. The reason I did that initially is because I felt that people were too far away. I wanted to get them in tighter and really give some focal point to the people in the center of the frame. On reflection, it was fine as it was when I first shot it with my 50mm, and I didn't need to go in that tightly. And the editing as well was rushed. It was overdone, and I did a re-edit, and this is what the image looks like now. Now, I think this is much better. A lot of people agree with me. They think it's much better as well. And I should also point out, as much of an issue people had with the image, it still got over 600 likes. It still had a lot of positive comments in there, but a lot of the commentary was having a go at me. Now, I'm fine with that. That's okay. I've been doing photography for over 10 years. There are people on the internet that are going to disagree with you. There are people on the internet that are going to push it too far and say some silly things. You are an idiot! Fine. If you have a problem with that, don't post online. I don't have a problem with it. That's why I was happy to share this image and go from there. But I want to read out some of the comments. And this is where I take quite an issue and where I did actually kind of push back on what was being said to me. I'll read this first one. It says, "By censoring a woman whilst commenting about sin is very much a statement that gives sexist connotations." So if we go back to the title, it said, "Let's all go sin." And there's a lot of people in that frame. The woman that she's referring is obviously the woman in the front and center of the frame. And the reason she's there is just by pure chance. I left the church before everyone came out. And I had this idea that I wanted to stand dead center with the entrance and the exit and just start making images of people leaving. I had no control over who would come out first. It just so happened to be this woman. And she's also locked eyes with my lens. And that gives more emphasis on her. So, of course, she's going to become the center point of the frame. And that's really the only reason why. And I don't think the person who made that comment has any evidence to suggest that this was a sexist connotation, that this was in any way objectifying the woman. And I want to bring up this other comment that someone else said. They said, "This is an excuse to creep shot conventionally attractive women, use their beauty for his gain, and give it an artsy title to pretend it's some deep art." Is this woman a conventionally attractive woman? Sure. But when she's coming out of the church with all the other people, I'm not got any time to assess or analyse or judge, might I add. And I wouldn't anyway, the people that are coming out. I'm just taking the frames, and then when I look back, when I get the image back at home and in the editing platform, then I can see ones that actually work. And this one particularly worked with her. But to say that this woman is being sexualized, which, by the way, she's fully clothed, she's just left church, and as you can see, she's pushing her child in the buggy or pram, whatever you guys call it. In no way can this woman be sexualized. And I think it says more about the people that are making these comments than it does my intentions. And my biggest problem is, it's okay if you disagree with me making the image. It's okay if you think that the caption is a load of trash. But you can't just start labeling people. Some of the worst things you can label a person just because you don't like their photography. It's too easy, and too many people do this online. And it's just something that I'm not going to accept in my own personal life. And I encourage other people not to accept either. So yes, I can take on the critique about the crop of the image, the way it's been edited, and the title itself. But I'm not going to stand there and accept people calling me sexist just because they've got their own biases and their own problems deep within them. And if you're on the receiving end of something like that, then I advise you to do the same. This is my opinion. What do you think of the image? Was I out of order with the caption? Please do let me know down in the comments. As long as it's respectful, I'm open to having a dialogue about this, because I think this is what photography is all about, especially street photography. So let's get that conversation going. And of course, please do subscribe. It really does help me, and it helps get the content on more eyes, especially if you like it, and tap the bell icon so YouTube notifies you when I next publish. Until the next one, I'm Dan. This is Them Frames. See ya.